What's this, Marcus? Divorce decrees? Are you really real? Yes, Tessa, that's right. Think of it as my farewell gift to you. I've made the decision to dissolve our union and move on. What I'm hearing amazes me. Are you really just discarding me in this manner, after all these years? Oh, Tessa, please stop being so emotional. For me, you have just ever been a handy way to get money. I appreciate you being my cash dispenser up to this point. How could you say things like that? I believed that we were partners who helped one another during good times and bad. Colleagues. Tessa, please. I've sold the tobacco shop, and I'm going to use the proceeds to live the life I've always wanted and tour the globe. I'm done needing you. So, everything we've built together, the sacrifices I made to pay off your debts, they mean nothing to you? I've moved on, and you are no longer a part of my plans. It's unbelievable that I squandered so many years of my life with such a callous person. You've destroyed all we owned. That's your issue right now, isn't it? Tessa, goodbye. All well, if that's what you desire. But keep in mind, things will get better. All of the money I paid on your behalf will be reimbursed to me. I'll ensure it. Pay you back. Tessa, don't be so silly. If you believe I'll give you even a single dime, you're dreaming. We shall investigate that. I will not allow you to go without accepting accountability for your debts. Marcus, you regret underestimating me. Leela, just try and see what you're capable of. Should it alleviate your discomfort? Marcus, we'll see. We'll see. I'm Tessa, and I'll be 46 this year. I was a financial consultant for a very long period, and I enjoyed my profession and the nice pay that came with it. In the meantime, my spouse Marcus, who inherited the tobacco business from his parents, was its owner. Even though our lives were well established and comfortable, there appeared to always be a gap in our lives. Before we were married, Marcus and I had dated for a long time. He was 35 and I was 30 when we tied the knot. When we first got married, we spoke a lot about having kids. I had always desired it, a fantasy that seemed to characterize my feeling of fulfillment. Marcus, however, always found a way to put off the conversation, saying we weren't prepared for the duties of motherhood. I first understood his worries. It was true that having children would take a large amount of time and effort, but we were both preoccupied with advancing our jobs. But as the years passed, my sense of urgency increased. I observed my friends embrace parenting and see how having little children changed their life. A part of me yearned for the same happiness, the kind of unwavering love that only a kid could provide. Over time, the need for a family grew increasingly strong. I couldn't help but question if I had overlooked something genuinely remarkable, something that would have satisfied my inner need. Weeks passed into months, and every day served as a reminder of the life I had longed for but was unable to have. Even so, I made an effort to pretend that I could live with my misgivings and be content with what we had. One day, I was hurrying about looking for my lost wallet, and I ended up going through Marcus's stuff. I was immediately drawn to a crumpled piece of paper that I found among the strewn papers. It served as a stark reminder of an enormous $300,000 debt. I was instantly hit with confusion and fear as I attempted to make sense of the circumstances. How on earth could Marcus have accrued so much debt without my knowledge? My mind was racing with so many concerns that I was confused and worried about our financial future. I confronted Marcus when he got home, pleading for an explanation. Resigned as much as guilty, he acknowledged that the debt had something to do with the tobacco shop. He had put off payments during the lean months in the hopes that things would get better. But the amount had gotten to the point where it was overwhelming him. The debt hung heavy in the air, a cloud over our lives despite Marcus's assurances that everything was under control. In an attempt to lighten the load, he emphasized my respectable salary as a financial advisor. Honestly, I was hesitant. I wasn't sure if I still felt satisfied with Marcus. But the idea of his shop collapsing under the weight of the debt was too much for me to handle. I took him to a seat and we had a serious discussion. Marcus, we should speak. It concerns our future and the goals we've long since set aside. What's on your mind, Tessa? Marcus, it's about the kids. I've waited patiently for them, knowing that one day we'll be prepared. I've wanted them forever. However, time is passing by, and I need to know if starting a family is what you want. Ah, Tessa, you are aware of my affection for you. Not because I don't want children. It's just that our financial condition has been my whole focus. Marcus, if having a family isn't in your heart, maybe it's time we consider separating. Tessa, please refrain from saying that. Without you, I don't know how I would live. We need to address our substantial debt collectively since it is looming over us. I will pay this debt because I love you and I will stop at nothing to have a family with you. However, if that's not what you want, I can't do it. I recognize, Marcus. I'll give it another go for us. But understand that the issue extends beyond debt. It's about creating a life that brings us both fulfillment. I'm grateful, Tessa. I'm not going to fail you. My life became a never-ending cycle of hard labor and devotion after that. I immersed myself into my work and worked even harder to increase my income. I had made up my mind to pay off Marcus's loan in full. Sleep turned becoming a luxury as work took up all of my thoughts. A ray of optimism appeared as the months went by, and the debt gradually decreased. I persisted, steadfast in my resolve to save Marcus and our hopes. I had no idea that this difficult struggle was preparing me for an unexpected turn of events that would call into question everything I had previously believed to be true about my marriage. I was thrilled on the day the last payment was made. I was prepared to bring up kids once more after carefully organizing a party. However, destiny had other ideas. Marcus walked in with a stack of papers when the door flew open. His expression was icy. He handed me the papers silently. I was stunned as I glanced down at them. The documents were for a divorce. I felt a flood of bewilderment go over me as I tried to make sense of what was going. What's this, Marcus? Divorce decrees? Are you really real? Yes, Tessa. Think of it as my farewell gift to you. I've made the decision to dissolve our union and move on. What I'm hearing amazes me. Are you really just discarding me in this manner, after all these years? Oh, Tessa, please stop being so emotional. For me, you have just ever been a handy way to get money. I appreciate you being my cash dispenser up to this point. How could you say things like that? I believe that we were partners who helped one another during good times and bad. Colleagues. Tessa, please. I've sold the tobacco shop, and I'm going to use the proceeds to live the life I've always wanted and tour the globe. I'm done meeting you. So everything we built together, the sacrifices I made to pay off your debts, they mean nothing to you. I've moved on, and you're no longer a part of my plans. It's unbelievable that I squandered so many years of my life with such a callous person. You've destroyed all we owned. That's your issue right now, isn't it? Tessa, goodbye. All right, if that's your preference. Recall, though, that this is not the end. I've paid all of the money on your behalf, and you will reimburse me. I will guarantee it. Pay it forward. Tessa, stop being so silly. If you believe that I would give you even a dime, you are dreaming. We'll check into it. You cannot go without accepting responsibility for your obligations from me. Marcus, you'll come to regret undervaluing me. Leila, just give it a shot and see what you can manage. If that helps you feel better at all. We'll see, Marcus. We'll see. As the reality revealed itself to me, my entire world fell apart. His egotistical aspirations crushed the hopes we had once shared. Devastation gave way to rage, and I instantly left him. I was stunned. It came to light that he was only abusing my affection and dedication. Despite my heartbreak, I remained steadfast in my pursuit of justice and the return of what was properly mine. To find out how I might force Marcus to pay back the money I had invested in his debt, I spoke with seasoned lawyers. My legal team assisted me in navigating the intricate web of contracts and legislation to make sure that justice was done. We ultimately amended the divorce documents to reflect our wishes while adhering to the law, and we returned them to Marcus. He had already left the house we used to share by then. Despite my fear and sadness, I forced myself to smile. Ultimately, the only one capable of saving me was me. Marcus complained to me about the divorce papers the following day. A mix of irritation and despair came out in his voice. I was immediately aware of the topic he was about to cover. "Tessa, what kind of deranged game are you playing? Wanting me to pay back the money you borrowed to help me? This is really ridiculous. It's not a game, Marcus. All I'm asking is that you act morally. Obviously, this is incorrect. You were my spouse. That was supposed to be done for me by you. All I'm doing is sticking to the conditions of the prenuptial agreement that we both signed. You recall, are you not?" "Hold on, what?" "The financial obligations that would fall on each of us in the event of our divorce are spelled out in that agreement. You will be legally obligated to reimburse me for all the money I have spent on your behalf in the event of a divorce." Wait, that kind of word existed. "Tessa, I'm shocked that you would harm me in this way. So, everything was a part of your grand scheme." "Marcus, I understood the hazards in a relationship since I worked as a financial advisor. I never intended for things to go to this point, but I had to consider the possible repercussions. So, all this time, you've been playing the victim while covertly preparing to destroy me. Is that all there is to it?" "No, Marcus, it's not the case. I wanted us to have a safe future together, but I had to defend myself because of what you did." "Defend yourself? Tessa, you've abandoned me with nothing. You demanded money, sold the store, and are now celebrating your victory. Marcus, nothing is bringing me joy. I'm glad I refused to let myself be used unfairly any longer. However, trust me when I tell that this is not how I ever intended it to end." "Well, Tessa, congrats. You achieved your goals. I've lost everything because of you, and all I have left are bills and crushed hopes. Marcus, I won't apologize for standing up for myself. Please think again, Tessa. For the sake of old times, just lend a hand. Henry, no. See you in court, I hope. Farewell." I felt a wave of happiness and victory pass through me at that same instant. Our prenuptial agreement helped us win since the court decided in my favor. While I was about to start a new chapter in my life, Marcus had fallen into debt once more. The power dynamic had changed, and the tables had turned. I moved on from Marcus and pursued my life's goals. With the love and support of those who had supported me throughout it all, I concentrated on starting again as he became further deeply in debt. I lost myself in my job and felt purposeful and fulfilled again. Midway through my self-discovery quest, I met Daniel, a fantastic man by chance. He was understanding of the value of aspirations and second chances, and he was kind and sensitive. We felt a connection that I had never had before. I realized I had discovered a relationship worth sacrificing everything for when our friendship developed into something more. We got married at the town hall in a straightforward yet heartfelt ceremony. I found out I was pregnant in my late 40s against all chances. Our hearts were filled with astonishment and thankfulness as the news filled us with tears of pleasure and disbelief. There were difficulties along the way when we eventually became parents, but we tackled them head-on, love and resolve as a team. Daniel was there for me through all of my doctor appointments and uncertain times. I felt secure knowing that I wasn't traveling this lovely adventure alone because of his support. I finally got to hold my infant in my arms on that day. A wave of feelings swept over me. I called her Grace because I saw the personification of our love. She was the grace that had led me into this amazing new chapter of my life and through the hardest times. In the end, I at last had the family of my dreams and the joyful ending I deserved.